So I'm playing hooky today from work with permission to come down here to our small canyon. It is very small compared to the Powder Canyon. This is McBride Canyon, but McBride Canyon has some really cool ridges, like this one behind me. I don't really have a name for it. I call it Buffalo Ridge. I don't know why I call it that. I don't think that's the actual name of it, but there's a 5-mile stretch that will only work if the wind is out of the northwest, and that is the most rare direction of wind for us. Very, very rarely, maybe one day out of the month, we'll get a northwest wind, and then it's usually way, way too strong to do anything with. But it's fairly gentle today. Are some good cycles. We're still like, I think it's like 3:45 in the afternoon. So still some pretty good cycles, but I've got some hiking to do. And this is pretty challenging stuff to hike. It's not a long hike. It's only about 200 to 230 feet to the top, but it's a lot more gnarly than it looks when you look at it from the ground once you get up there. It's very bouldery. Everything slips and slides under your feet, so you got to take your time and give yourself plenty of time to get up there and then be ready to walk down if it doesn't work out. I'm not sure if it's a good strategy or a bad strategy. By the way, this is, when you think of the grasslands, this is what it is. It's all grass that's as tall as you are. So, yeah, you'll land in the grass here, but yeah. Anyways, it's usually a bear getting your stuff out. But my strategy, still a little bit of snow, is to climb up ridge lines where they stick out, either ridge lines or little canyons. And that's just always been my way that I go about it. And again, I don't know if that's the best way or not, but that's my way. It's just always, when I go up a wall of a canyon, that seems to always be the way I try to do it. Whew. This thorny bastard came in pretty handy. Unfortunately, it's about 10 foot was how high all this caprock is around these ridges. And I finally went around until I found a washout, but then it's just almost as slick as ice getting up it. With the pack, it's almost impossible, even with poles. Well, at least if you're a fat, overworked, overpaid desk jockey like me, I had to hang my bag on it. Oh, now I gotta get it out. I think it's easier to climb up and then pull it up. I'm a little embarrassed about the struggle that it was to get up. And you know, that caprock does not look like it's that big of a deal until you're close to it and you realize it's like 10, 12 feet tall on a lot of it. Either way, I don't know exactly how tall it is, but I know my hand stretched up, it was still a few feet above my hand. So it's enough that I'm damn sure not climbing up it, and I'm damn sure not climbing up it with a paragliding pack. And see, there's probably gonna be some spots. Yeah, see, even if I zoom in way over there, you see it's just, we actually have a school named Caprock. A lot of things are named Caprock in Amarillo, and there's a reason for that, because our area sits on top of the Caprock. Up top, there's a few less trees, but a whole lot more of this. You usually won't see more than, I don't know, probably in a 10-foot radius, you're gonna have 4 of these plants that each are taking up 3 to 4 feet. It's pretty covered up, and I know it seems like see, now we've got a break of about 10 feet, and then this one's large. This is probably 7-foot radius group of them, and there's little ones all in the area too. So trying to find a spot to lay out that's not going to have you either putting your stuff on that or running through it is tough. I think probably my best bet is going to be finding somewhere down on the slope, which is typically how I like to launch anyways. So gotta find a place that's not just covered in stuff and then isn't hard scrabble that's just gonna give out under my feet as soon as I try and take a step on it in the wrong direction.
I think this is going to be the spot right here, though. I'm going to try and set my stuff up. Let's get a cycle. Oh, can I get that out? Yes, I can. All right, good, and we go. Come on. I ran up the hill a little too fast. Yeah, this could be a slider. Oh well, it's really hard to time it. Unless I catch a good late day thermal. That's okay. Wind's pretty light down here now. I should catch some sink here in just a second. Well, that's not what I wanted my wing to do. What a terrible flight. It's just grass. It's just really long, twiggy grass. Now, if I would have known that I was going to get that much sink, the plan would have been to just land farther out in the grass. Damn. I waited and waited up there because I felt it was just too strong. And when it died, it just turned off. It's always a trick, you know, hitting it just right. Because if I would have gotten up, I would have been able to get enough compression. Or if I would have top launched, but I just couldn't find a decent place up top to launch. And I probably should have walked or driven and climbed up over there. But you know, you don't know till you get up there. And it's a lot longer walk up there than it looks. It is full of thorns though. Ain't nothing growing around here without thorns. That's what I get for thinking that I'm gonna have the same kind of lift getting down into the valley, and it's just never the case. It always sinks out more when you're down here. And I know that. It's just been a long time. First flight, free flight of the year. Yuck. There we go. That set of lines is now clear from that tree. Unfortunately, I'm in like 4 trees here. Well, got the wing out of the tree. was a pain in the butt. Pretty scratched up from the thorns. The mesquite trees are very, very thorny. long old boogers. They just jam into you. Every time you're trying to do anything, you're sticking your arm into one. Just, what a stupid mistake. It's 1 hour till sunset. Duh, the air's gonna be katabatic, man. And man, I hit that cold air and I knew, oh, I'm gonna hit some sink now. And by the time I hit that sink, I mean, you're committed. It's just too low to do anything, and I'd rather just go ahead and put it down into where I know it's gonna be safe between a couple trees, and just deal with the aftermath than try and do a low turn and lose my my airspeed and flare authority. That, I just don't feel like that's the answer. I would almost always rather keep my flare authority and land into just about anything versus coming in hot and fast, and my knees don't need that. I'm just setting my phone here. I don't have any sort of camera set up in here. Anyways, it's a pretty bumpy road. Not the best first free flight of 2022. Picking pieces of tree out of my ears still. I was able to back the Jeep up and pull the wing up and off of a lot of the tallest tree, which was good. I did have to cut a little bit, not too much, not enough to hurt the tree. Not that, I don't think anybody would care, even though it's federal land, just because, you know, mesquite is an invasive species. The grasses are not. The grasses should be here. The mesquite should not be here. I should have launched low and run up and just let it pluck me up the hill. But I decided to go get up on top, just get a feel for the air across the back. I just wanted to feel it out a little bit more, and by the time I set up to fly, it was really starting to calm down too much, and that happened literally over a period of like 3 to 5 minutes. When it dropped off, it just plummeted. It went from like 25 miles an hour down to 7. So it is what it is. I mean, that's just going to happen. Our glass offs fall off really, really hard here. I've only had a couple flights out here that I was actually able to stay up on the ridge. Those are pretty magical. Just because it's near home, you know, it's my home sites. They're nothing. I think they're beautiful, but they're not good paragliding sites. If I had laminar air, it would be, but this is dry. High plains air is not laminar. It's always about a 5 to 10 mile an hour gust. So, anyways, I had a ton of tree material still in the wing, and I just shoved it in the back of the Jeep and left it fluffy so it wasn't pulling and tearing in any direction. And I'll pull that out at the house, and we'll spend some time there. But all right, let's drive out.